Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Azka, SS English. A very warm welcome to the online classes of Divisional Public School and Intercollege Sahiwal. Dear students, I hope you all would be fine. The topic for today is change of voice for present continuous tense. You would be solving an exercise based upon the previously learned concept of change of voice for present continuous tense. As far as the objectives of this lesson are concerned, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to differentiate between active and passive voice, explain the sentence pattern in active and passive voice using present continuous tense, and convert given sentences from active to passive. Before moving towards exercise, let's revise the previously learned concept. First of all, a question comes in our mind: what is voice? When a sentence is written, it can either be written in active voice or in passive voice. Active voice is used when the subject performs the action. For example, they are enjoying the party. In this sentence, they is subject and it is actively doing the action. It is not passive at all. On the other hand, in passive voice, subject is acted upon by the verb, means it only receives the action. You can see that in second example, they becomes them, it only receives the action, the party is being enjoyed, is given more importance over here. So, in active voice, subject performs action, but in passive voice, it only receives the action. Subject is given priority in active voice, but object is given priority in passive voice. If you observe the formation structure, you would see how changes take place while converting active voice into passive voice. In active voice, we follow traditional grammatical structure. Subject comes first, then helping verb that is in accordance with the subject. Then we have first form of verb with ing since we are working on a continuous tense, and lastly we put an object. So the sentence is they are enjoying the party. But when we convert it in the passive voice, object comes in the beginning and subject at the end. Secondly, we use a helping verb according to the object. Thirdly, we add being since we are working upon a continuous tense. Fourthly, we use third form of verb. This is an extremely important point when you are converting active voice into passive, no matter either the tense is past, present, or future. No matter either it is indefinite, continuous, perfect, or perfect continuous. We are supposed to use only third form of verb in passive voice. Keep this rule in your mind. After past participle, we write by, and lastly, we write the subject of active voice. So the passive voice would be, the party is being enjoyed by them. Dear students, for your better understanding, I've added a few examples. Just have a look at them. The carpenter is making furniture, and the passive voice is furniture is being made by the carpenter. This was all about affirmative sentences. Remember this basic formation structure. It would help you while converting other types of sentences as well. These are a few more examples of affirmative sentences. She is writing a biography. A biography is being written by her. They are painting the wall. and the passive voice is the wall is being painted by them. Now we would be converting negative sentences into passive voice. A negative sentence states that something is not true or incorrect. For example, she is not writing a biography, and the passive voice is a biography is not being written by her. The second example is they are not painting the wall is not being painted by them. You can see that the basic structure is the same. The difference between affirmative and negative sentence is that we simply put not after helping verb. Rest of the structure remain the same. In this way you would convert affirmative sentences into negative. Let's move forward. The next type of sentence is interrogative. As we all know that interrogative is a sentence that simply asks a question. For example, is she writing a biography? Is the biography being written by her? If you analyze the whole structure, you would come to know that there are two changes. Firstly, instead of writing is after subject, we put it before subject. And secondly, we put a question mark at the end since we are working on a question. In this way, you would be able to convert interrogative sentences. In second example, we have negative interrogative. Negative interrogative is used when the speaker expects a particular answer. It is basically a combination of negative and interrogative. For example, is she not writing a biography? Is a biography not being written by her? Thirdly, we have double interrogative. As it is evident from the name that there are more than two interrogations in double interrogative, so we simply add how and any W word like what, where, when, and why according to the suitability. Rest of the structure remain the same. For example, why is she writing a biography? Why is a biography being written by her? The last type of sentence is who sentence. It is used to inquire about the subject. So the structure is a bit different over here. For example, who is writing a biography? By whom is a biography being written? Dear students, as we are supposed to inquire about the subject, who is used in active voice, but by whom is used in passive voice. The point to remember is that always put helping verb after by whom. It should not be after object. For example, I have written is after by whom. It should not be after biography. This is a very common mistake and you should be very particular about this point. Dear student, just have a look at these interrogative conversions. It's time for some mental workout. Are you ready? Let's move forward. I've designed an exercise for you and you're supposed to convert all these sentences into passive voice. You're not supposed to change the type of sentence, means you would convert positive into positive, negative into negative, and you would be converting in the same manner. So let's get started. Let's find out answers. Here are the answers. You may match your sentence and point out your mistakes. Dear students, all of you have done very well. It's review time now. In this lesson, first of all, we revise the formation structure of present continuous tense in both active and passive voice. We learn when a sentence is written, it can either be written in active voice or in passive voice. Active voice is used when the subject performs the action, but passive voice is used when the subject receives the action. Subject is given priority in active voice, but object is given priority in passive voice. Secondly, we follow traditional grammatical structure in active voice, but in passive voice, object comes first and subject at the end, and we use third form of verb. Secondly, we learn how to convert different type of sentences into passive voice. Either they are positive, negative, interrogative, or who. And lastly, you solve an exercise based upon the concept. That's all from my side. It's Azka signing off. Allah Hafiz.